Hello and welcome to Middleton-in-Teesdale, where I've arrived in order to recce a walk for Stockton Ramblers Club. I don't drive, so in order to do this walk, I've had to travel over the night before, which, as you can imagine, is an enormous inconvenience because, after all, who would want to travel and stay overnight in what's a really beautiful village on the Pennine Way and stay in a very nice bed and breakfast? And I think tonight we're going to have a very nice meal as well in a pub. Gosh, it really is quite traumatic for me having to do this. Well, it's the morning of the walk, and I can report we had a wonderful meal last night at the Teesdale Hotel. We're staying at Brunswick House Bed and Breakfast, which is perfect for anyone walking the Pennine Way or anyone just visiting this area for anything. We had a lovely, comfy room, and breakfast this morning was amazing. There was fresh fruit, there were cheeses and cold meats and yogurts. There were homemade cakes. But I've got to admit, I actually had the full cooked breakfast, including the locally produced black pudding. What I particularly liked was the extra things there just for walkers. There were drying facilities, plenty of room for your boots and your bags and your muddy bits. There was fresh fruit in the room, and there was a fridge in the room. And there was an honesty bar, which is lovely, where you just helped yourself to drinks and made a note of it, and they trusted you to pay at the end for what you'd actually had. I think that's one of the nice things about the walking community. I've walked along the northern bank of the Tees, along the Teesdale Way, to reach the start of the walk. It's added about another hour and 15 minutes to the walk, but it's been great. The river's in full flow. There are carpets of snowdrops all over the place, and I'm pleased to say we've got blue skies now, because when I woke up the rain was absolutely lashing down. So I've got all my waterproofs on, but I'm feeling hopeful that I might get a dry day, so see how it goes. I've walked a few yards, a few meters, depending on your age, and from here there's a wonderful view up the Tees Valley, which is where I'll be walking and where the club walk goes. I'm very pleased to see that there is a bridge going across the Tees. It wouldn't be the first time for me to come for a walk and to get to where there's a bridge and it's been swept away, especially at this time of year. There's a very famous patch of the River Swale just north of Reeth where there once upon was such a bridge, and many of us got to it to find that not only had it been swept away, but a new bridge had been built, and this new bridge was sitting in a field the other side of the river from us and not actually crossing the river. I'm not sure if that bridge is up yet. I hope it is. So, a very sturdy bridge, no ugly trolls. So I can go trip, trap over the bridge, and I'm really grateful because that's a very full and quite angry looking Tees. at this time of year, you've really got to be careful if you're walking close to water, because you could have some really bad accidents. So thanks for talking to me.
Yeah,
Where have you come from? Where have you come from?
Well, halfway mark, Durham and
Kendal.
Met up.
You met up here, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you walk in this area often? Is
Yeah,
this
we
your...
were last year in November, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
We
gosh.
did a walk from where did we-
Not Eggleston.
Coverston,
Coverston.
Eggleston, Rommelskirk. So we're doing
Another one.
one around there.
Yeah.
We're having a pub lunch at Rommelskirk.
Oh,
I
right.
recommend it.
Oh, right. Well, on my club walks, they don't stop for lunch. They just carry on walking. So, yeah, I could...
Well, stop for lunch, it's good.
I might cut that bit out of the video, but I might leave it in.
What do you think, mate? Make sure you stop for lunch at the pub.
And then the weather's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
We were expecting.
Yeah, so...
But before the storm.
oh, right.
And tell them, don't forget to bring your cozzies because you can have a swim in the river. It's looking nice and calm today, isn't it?
Our daughter would be in.
Yes, she is.
Well, I think I better say bye-bye because I think you're sort of the bad influence that I can do with that. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I've just been through the most complex series of stiles. It hasn't just been the climbing up over them, they've been the type that are built into the wall with stone stepping stones. It's been the bits of string and the lumps of wood and the little gates and everything. And I've just been talking to the farmer, and it's because she keeps chickens, and the little blighters will get through anything apparently. So it's like an assault course. So anyone walking in this area, look out for runaway chickens. They're probably going to be somewhere. Gosh, it's getting windy. It's windy, but it's sunny. It's not raining, so who cares? I finished a stretch, the first stretch of field walking for today, and I'm really pleased. It hasn't been too wet underfoot at all, not even around the gates where it's usually mud bath. And I'm now on the old railway path that will take me all the way back into Middleton. So this will be nice, quick, easy walking in some wonderful surroundings. It's really strange sometimes to think that the reason this path is here is because once upon a time this area was really heavily industrialised with the lead mining industry. And you look now and you think, what a beautiful place. But if it wasn't for that industry, the people wouldn't have moved here, and these paths wouldn't be here either. So, you know, always things to be grateful for. To me, where have you come from? Where are you going?
Come from Leeds today.
Yeah.
Just parked up just down the old railway line at Middleton.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk as far as Rommelskirk and then hopefully do a loop up into the hills, back down, just so we have a bit of elevation as well. So it'll be about a 4-mile loop, I think.
Yeah.
Just about enough for our dog.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, I
Getting on a bit.
haven't got your dog. What's your dog called?
Bevan.
Bevan. Oh, lovely, lovely thing, lovely thing. Leeds is quite a way for you to come for a day. Is it?
It's taken us about an hour, 40 minutes to drive here. It's not too far.
Oh,
The A1,
that's,
A66.
not so far. And you brought the sun with you, haven't you? Because I stayed in Middleton last night and it wasn't like that this morning. It was back down with rain.
Yeah.
So,
In Leeds.
yeah, so, well, I'll let you go on your way. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you. It's lovely meeting you.
And you. One of the great things about walking on disused railway tracks is that you come across all this incredible, wonderful, beautiful railway architecture. I'm about to walk over an old viaduct, sadly, because of where it is, which is where they usually are, on steep-sided valleys, I can't actually see the viaduct. But walking across it is still wondrous, especially when you think they were built at a time without computers, without the health and safety regs that they have these days. They were basically built by a load of people clinging on and hoping for the best. And sometimes, sadly, the best didn't happen. But they're a great memorial to all those people involved in the railway industry and the engineers and the workers who made it. So you've come here, somewhere local. Where did you stay? Where did you stay?
In the old chapel in Middleton-in-Teesdale.
Yeah, and it's nice, you were saying?
It's
Amazing.
gorgeous. Lovely, yeah.
Okay. So where have you come from? Where do you normally live?
I just live in Barnet Castle.
Oh dear.
It's like we don't ever come up here. We've just been saying we need to meet on your doorstep. It's beautiful up here.
Well, that's normal, isn't it? Well, yeah, we never know what's on our doorstep. We don't know what's on our doorstep. So how far are you walking now?
I think we're just doing it like maybe say 3 miles
Yeah.
sort of thing, and then maybe it's come out later.
Ah, so you're staying here more than one night then?
Yes, we're staying again tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. The food was fantastic
Yes,
last night, wasn't it?
it was amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So thanks for chatting to me. It's lovely talking to you. I wish you well for the rest of your celebrations. I've arrived back at Middleton-in-Teesdale at the bridge where I first started my walk. I was walking along the path the other side of the river, and to be truthful, just doing this as a circular would be an absolutely glorious way to spend a day. The scenery's been fantastic, the walk's been interesting and not too challenging, so anyone who can sort of walk reasonably well could do it, and the weather's been glorious. But I'm not finishing here. I've got more energy left in my legs and more hours of daylight ahead of me, so I'm going to carry on walking up the Pennine Way, and then eventually swing back round the other side of the river again to come back to Middleton-on-Tees. So about another 6 miles for me to go. Even though we're just a short way outside Middleton-in-Teesdale, the landscape has started to look quite different. It's really opened up and become much more bleak, though the sun's just come out again, so that makes a big difference. There's nothing really quite as cheerful as sun sparkling on water at this time of year. Balderdash. This is why it's important to recce a walk if you're leading a club walk. Now, on the map, this path, which is part of the Pennine Way, so a long distance national trail, passes a tiny little rill. But it's March, and so we've had winter wedding. No, it's not March, it's February. It's February, I'm losing my brain. And we've got winter walking. And so what might be a little slither of water in summer is now in full flood. So I'm going to have to wander around and see if I can find an easy and safe way for us to cross and get to over there where I can see the stile. Wish me luck. I've ended up walking upstream a bit and walking through that great area you can see there, which is actually just flooded field. So it's an inch deep. It doesn't go anywhere near your laces or anything. And then got to a very narrow bit of stream that was a wide leg stretch for me. I didn't need to jump it, but I did need to stride, sort of wide stride across. I'm not sure how other members of the group will feel about that. So I will finish my recce and I will go home and I will report my findings to the committee and see what they say. It started to rain, but I've only got 3 miles left of this walk now, so I've not that much longer to be out in it, even if it does pour down with rain. And I've reached the point where I'm crossing the Tees again. Thank heavens, there is a bridge. I'm so pleased about that. And heading towards New Biggin. And then I'll move directions, I'll swing round and I'll start walking back towards Middleton-in-Teesdale, where my walk will finish. And another little bridge, as shown on the map. You know, at this time of year, it really is a relief when you get to places and the bridges are there. Very often they're not. Very often they've been swept away. At other times there was never a bridge, but there's far more water than there usually is. So every bridge is a blessing. I appear to be being welcomed into New Biggin by a parade of snowdrops. They're all just standing here on the edge of the lane. They really make up for winter, don't they? So I'm now on my last couple of miles into Middleton-in-Teesdale, and it's been a great walk. It's clouded over a bit this afternoon and we've had some rain, but generally it's been fine. The last couple of miles are mostly a long road, but it's very quiet road, and sometimes at the end of the day it's quite nice having a stretch that you don't have to think too much about, as long as you look out for the traffic, obviously. But it's just one foot in front of the other until you get to the end. So here I am, back where I was yesterday when it all started. I got back to Middleton in time for a pint of black sheep, sitting in front of a real fire. Well, you can't think of a better way really to finish a walk, can you? I've had a really brilliant day. It's such a beautiful area. I've met some great people along the way. I've enjoyed every minute. You know, there've been some tricky bits like bridges not being there when they should, but apart from that, it's been nice. It's been fairly good conditions under feet, especially when you think this is February. You know, what can you expect in February? And it stayed mainly dry for me. So if anyone's watching this, please think of coming to this area to walk. It's gorgeous. And if anyone's thinking of joining a rambling club and lives in the Stockton, Middlesbrough, Billingham, Redcar sort of area, then think of joining the Stockton Rambling Club and come out with us on that day in March. It would be lovely to see you.